All right, let's get right into it. For the last couple of years, AI has been this huge wave of excitement and potential, right? But as we look ahead to 2025, you can feel the whole conversation changing. It's not just about what AI could do anymore. Now, it's about what it is doing, and more importantly, how we get real, tangible value out of it for our businesses.
And that leads us straight to this point. The AI honeymoon is absolutely over. You know, that initial phase of just experimenting, of throwing every shiny new tool at the wall just to see what sticks? Yeah, that's wrapping up. Now, the leadership team is starting to ask the tough questions. They want to see the proof, they want to see the impact, the real return on investment.
And this is where it gets really interesting. There's a pretty massive trust gap. A recent survey found that only 36% of CEOs actually trust their own IT departments to deliver even basic services. Think about that. That's a shockingly low number, and it puts this immense pressure on CIOs to prove that these big AI initiatives are way more than just expensive science projects.
And piling on top of that pressure is a problem I'm sure you're familiar with: app sprawl. A whopping 72% of CIOs are worried about having way too many redundant applications. The whole Gen AI boom, it led to this flood of new tools, which ended up bloating our tech stacks, driving up costs, and just making everything way more complicated. Now, what's fascinating is that even with all these challenges, IT spending is just going through the roof. Gartner thinks it's going to hit $5.75 trillion in 2025. But, and this is a huge but, this isn't a blank check. Every single dollar of that budget is under a microscope and has to be justified with real, measurable business outcomes. So, how does any organization even begin to navigate this? Well, we're going to frame this whole journey like a climb up a mountain. Think of the road to AI maturity as our strategic map, taking us from those early experiments all the way up to a place of strategic, future-ready value.
Every big climb starts at base camp, right? This is your foundational stage. It's where all the crucial prep work happens. You got to get your gear sorted out before you even think about starting the ascent.
So, what does Basecamp look like in the real world? Well, think of it as the ultimate proving ground for AI. This is where businesses are running small-scale pilot projects, they're testing out new tools, and they're building up confidence with some quick wins. But it's not just about the fun stuff. This is also where you have to tackle the really tough foundational challenges, like breaking down those stubborn data silos and upskilling your teams. A strong foundation here is what makes the rest of the climb even possible. But let's be clear, Basecamp is no walk in the park. There are some serious obstacles to deal with. First, you've got to tame that Gen AI app sprawl we just talked about. Next, you have to get ready for a whole new generation of security threats, things like AI-generated misinformation. And then there's the big one. You have to manage expectations and actually show some real ROI from those early pilot projects.
Let's just double-click on that misinformation threat for a second. We are heading into an era what you could call disinformation security, where we need technology that can systematically tell us what's real and what's not. And look, this isn't some far-off hypothetical problem. We're talking about very real threats like deepfake phishing, where an AI can convincingly pretend to be your CEO or a key supplier. This is a massive risk for any organization out there.
Okay, so once we've established that solid base, we start climbing up to the mountain lodge. This is the integration stage. This is where AI stops being some side project and it becomes a core part of how the business actually runs. And this is where the magic really starts to happen. At the Mountain Lodge, AI isn't just a shiny new toy anymore. No, it's woven into the very fabric of your day-to-day workflows. It's helping you scale operations, it's unlocking new ways to make money, and it's delivering real, tangible business results across the entire organization.
One of the key technologies you'll find at this stage is something called composite AI. The idea is actually pretty simple. One AI model just can't do it all. So composite AI fuses together different techniques, like machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, to create these incredibly powerful hybrid models. Just imagine a supply chain that can automatically react to a hurricane warning by rerouting shipments, reallocating inventory, and even updating customers in real time. That's the power of composite AI.
And to manage all of this new complexity, you're going to need AOps. The best way to think about it is like a super smart doctor for all your IT systems. It can predict problems before they even happen, automatically apply fixes, and just make sure everything is running smoothly. In today's ridiculously complex IT environments, AOps isn't a luxury anymore. It's an absolute necessity. And the market shows it. It's projected to be worth over $32 billion by 2028.
All right, now for the final ascent, up to the summit. This is where the air gets thin and the view is absolutely incredible. Reaching the top of this mountain means you've hit a high level of AI maturity. This stage is all about strategic innovation and making sure you stay way ahead of the competition.
But being at the summit isn't about resting on your laurels. It's about looking ahead. Future-ready organizations are constantly experimenting with the most cutting-edge, next-generation technologies to see what's just around the corner. That's how they stay at the absolute forefront of their industry. And one of the most exciting of these cutting-edge technologies is synthetic data. It's basically a way to create artificial data that has all the same statistical properties as your real data, but, and here's the key part, without any of the sensitive personal information. It's a total game changer for AI development.
So why is this so incredibly important? Well, in a world with stricter and stricter privacy regulations, synthetic data is basically a lifeline. It lets you train your AI models on these massive data sets without ever touching real customer data. You can simulate millions of really specific scenarios, like rare types of fraud that you'd never find enough real-world data for. This technology is so powerful that it's projected to be used more than real data for AI training by 2030. If you're not looking into synthetic data now, you're already falling behind.
And all of this brings us to agentic AI. Now, this isn't just an assistant. This is an AI system that can autonomously plan and execute complex tasks to achieve a goal that you give it. It's essentially a potential virtual workforce. In fact, Gartner predicts that by 2028, these kinds of agents will be handling 15% of our day-to-day business decisions.
So, we've made the climb, from base camp all the way to the summit. Now let's bring it all back down to earth and talk about the actual steps your organization can take to get ready for what's coming next, because your climb starts right now.
And what's next is nothing short of a revolution in who, or maybe what, your customer actually is. As these AI agents become more and more autonomous, they're going to start participating in the market themselves. They'll be able to research products, negotiate prices, even make purchases, all without any human stepping in. We are on the edge of a brand new era, the era of the machine customer.
So how in the world do you prepare for that? It really comes down to these 3 C's. First, connectivity, making sure your systems can integrate seamlessly with these AI agents. Second, cybersecurity, locking down and safeguarding your data as machines start making transactions. And third, customization, adapting your services to meet the very specific needs of machine customers just like you would for human. And that brings us to our final thought. From exploring those first pilots at base camp, to truly integrating AI at the Mountain Lodge, all the way to innovating at the summit, every single organization is somewhere on this journey. So the one crucial question I want to leave you with is this: where is your organization on the road to AI maturity?